I never thought betrayal could taste like copper pennies under my tongue. But when the bailiff barked, Case 8921, Delgado versus Delgado, the metallic tang flooded my mouth. My own blood, Mom, Dad, and my kid sister, Sophia, were dragging me to court to kick me out of the bungalow I'd bought with my divorce settlement, the one I'd gutted and reborn with sweat and sleepless nights. They swore it was always meant for Sophia's starter home with her fiancé, Marcus. Mom clutched a tissue she never used. Dad's cufflinks gleamed like accusations. Sophia dabbed dry eyes on cue. Their thrill vibrated louder than the courthouse AC. That was their fatal error. For years earlier, my marriage imploded. I limped back to the east side grid of cracked sidewalks and sagging porches, snagged a 1920s stucco wreck for pennies, and rebuilt it plank by plank. Mom praised the smart investment. Sophia cooed over the clawfoot tub. I called it sanctuary. They dropped by with casseroles and color swatches, borrowing my drill, sighing that Sophia needed roots before the wedding. I shrugged it off until Mom murmured over coffee, "Wouldn't it be sweet if the house stayed Delgado blood for Sophia?" Her smile never reached her eyes. I laughed. She didn't. Red flags stacked like unpaid bills. Dad helped with my refinance docs, leaving sticky notes on clauses I never signed. A title company I never contacted requested my payoff statement. Sophia's Pinterest board suddenly featured my exact kitchen tile. By the time the summons slid under my door, Dad's attorney had already filed, claiming the down payment traced to a Delgado family legacy fund they controlled. Their story: I'd hijacked money earmarked for Sophia. I didn't scream. I studied. I smiled at Sunday tamales while my phone recorded under the table. Every helpful visit, every probing question, every toast to keeping it in the family went into a locked folder. But audio can be dismissed as doctored. I needed bedrock. My son, Mateo, 8 years old and quieter than dusk, delivered it. One Thursday, he sat cross-legged on the living room rug, tablet glowing. "Abuela says you're just borrowing the house," he whispered. "She told Tia Sophia it'll be hers by Christmas." My pulse hammered. "She said that here?" He nodded, tapped play. Mom's voice slithered out. "Once Javier's out, we'll spin it as tough love. He'll cave, he always does." Dad chuckled. "Kid never fought for anything." Sophia's giggle cut sharp. "Tell the photographer the light's better in the breakfast nook." I saved the file, kissed Mateo's forehead, and started drafting motions. Court smelled of bleach and desperation. Their lawyer, slick as pomade, waved grainy bank drafts. The legacy fund ceded the purchase. Verbal intent is binding. The judge, silver-haired and unimpressed, flicked the pages. "These lack signatures, dates, and a notary. You're asking me to evict a man based on a handshake." Dad tugged his collar. "Family honor, Your Honor." My attorney rose. "Before rebuttal, my client's son has a brief presentation." Mateo marched forward in his too-big blazer, clutching the tablet like a shield. The judge softened. "Floor's yours, young man." He pressed play. The room filled with my mother's conspiracy, my father's smug arithmetic, my sister's wedding timeline. Gasps rippled. Sophia's fake tears dried mid-cheek. Dad's face went the color of wet cement. The judge's gavel cracked like a starting pistol. Case dismissed with prejudice. Title confirmed to Javier Delgado. I'm referring counsel to the DA for attempted fraud and filing false instruments. She stared down my family. Consider this a warning. Blood doesn't license theft. Dad found his voice first. This isn't over, Mijo. I met his eyes. It is for you. They shuffled out, Mom's heels clicking defeat. Sophia didn't look back. The bungalow wouldn't photograph her veil anymore. That night the house exhaled. Mateo and I ate cereal on the porch I'd rebuilt after the divorce, watching fireflies stitch the dark. The walls still smelled of fresh paint and possibility. They'd coveted a address. I'd forged a stronghold. Justice doesn't always thunder. Sometimes it tiptoes in on a child's sneakers, presses play, and topples umpires. The bungalow stood quiet, mine by deed and by spine. Every joist I'd sistered, Every window I glazed now echoed a single truth: some inheritances you build yourself, and no one can repossess grit.